Hi guys, my name is Dan, I'm a veterinarian, and today I'm going to cover ear infections in the dog. The good news is ear infections are one of the most common things a veterinarian sees. That makes us really confident and I believe I'm really good at it, but really good at treating ear infections. So when you roll to the veterinarian office, they're going to do a handful of things. They're going to, of course, look your doggy over, and they're going to use an otoscope, and they're going to look down the ear. We're looking to make sure the eardrum is healthy and not damaged, which can definitely affect how we treat your dog. Also, I'm looking to see how much inflammation, if I can see any obvious discharge, kind of give me the right frame of mind for what I'm dealing with. The most common infections I see with doggies is bacteria and yeast. These two things can be by themselves or in conjunction with one another. And usually these ear infections are driven by an underlying cause, like an allergy. It's always allergies, right guys, with doggies? Allergies. It could be an allergy. It could be we pulled some ear hair, we got some water in there. But the ears are pretty healthy, and unless you have an underlying problem that kind of grows the infection, there's no reason for an infection. We want to figure out what the infection is. As I just mentioned, it could be a handful of things, but the most common are two things, yeast and bacteria. So for these two things, I'm going to take an ear swab and scoop some of that gross debris out of there, put it under a slide and look at it. It's quite simple. Under the microscope, I can see yeast, boom, done. It's a yeast infection. Or I'll see bacteria, boom, done. Bacteria. I don't know what species it is. I may not be super confident about what kind of bacteria it is, but I know that it's either yeast or bacteria. I can also give you an idea of like how much is present on the slide, like how concentrated it is, and it kind of hones me in on what medication to pick from. So based on this, I can either grab a yeast med or an antibiotic, and I can then use those meds, or if it's both, I can grab a combo one, and then I can put those meds in the dog's ear. Or let's be honest, you, the pet owner, will do that. So I tend to like flush the ear out, make it really clean, and then before the bacteria starts to regrow, I'll put some meds down there, and then the pet owner, you guys, will treat the ear at home, unless you have a doggy that does not let you touch the ears, and in those cases, I'll put some goop down there for you. I mean your veterinarian will. Now we're thinking, well, if you don't know what exact type of bacteria it is or yeast, how do we find that out? The next step would be culturing it. And you can culture at any time, guys. All the veterinarian needs to do is just swab the ear and send it off to a lab. We can do a fungal culture or a bacterial culture, and we can grow those infectious organisms and then identify them, and in most cases, figure out what would be the best medication to treat it. And that brings me to my last point. As I mentioned earlier, if you have an underlying condition, if it keeps brewing and causing ear infections, we need to figure that out. If it's an allergy to a food, let's change the food. If it's an allergy to the environment, maybe eliminate that allergen or start something like an allergy pill to help reduce inflammation. Because if the ear canal is healthy on a daily basis, it shouldn't be growing bacteria or yeast. But if it's unhealthy because of primary underlying problem, you will see repeat ear infections. So if you have a bad thyroid and the thyroid's abnormal, you need something for the thyroid, and that makes the ears healthy too. So treat the ears, get them healthy, put some meds in there, and if it keeps coming back, you gotta dig for your underlying problem, and once you solve that, a lot of doggies will have cleaner ears more regularly or even long term, if you like 100% confirm the underlying problem, which can be challenging. You guys have a great week. If this was helpful about dog ears, leave a comment below.